Welcome back to the channel. This is Phil again here from Harris Automotive. We got a 2015 Volvo S60 with a T5 that the timing belt came off and it damaged the valves in the engine. This video here is going to be along to show you how to get this cylinder head reinstalled and get the cam timing correct. Everything that you need to know when installing a cylinder head on this vehicle. So right now we have the prep work already done. We have the face of our block already cleaned up. We have our new head gasket installed. I'll show the block. So let me show you the block. Okay, there we go. All right, cleaned up, ready to go. We already have our water pump. Come on over here, son. We already have our water pump and tensioners on. Not that means anything at this moment, but the main thing I want you to focus on is this. This here is our cylinder head. So what happened with this vehicle, the timing belt came off and the valves got damaged. So we sent the head to our local machine shop. We have all new valves installed in the vehicle. We're about to get this head lowered onto the block. Now here's the critical part about this job. When you take this vehicle, when you take the cylinder head off of the vehicle and when you go to put it back on, always put your studs in first. Put your studs in first. So what's gonna happen is that we're gonna come over here and we're actually gonna angle it in and we're gonna get our studs to go through our exhaust manifold and it's gonna center right down on the thing. Hey, Phil, come on over for a second. So I'm gonna get my son, the assistance of my son. We're gonna get this head lowered on over here. We're gonna get our studs. I'm gonna show you how easy it is. We're just gonna go.
You way off.
Come this way.
Knock off. Yep, I'm good.
See that slid in? You in on your side?
Yeah.
All your studs were?
Yeah.
And that is it.
We're gonna run it down with a 1/2-inch gun.
We are not going to run it down with a 1/2-inch gun, but that's how easy it is to get this cylinder head on. Next step we're going to do, we're going to get our cylinder head bolts, and we're going to tighten down our cylinder head. That's going to be our next step. All right, so here we go. We had our first step of tightening our cylinder head bolts. It's a 3-stage torque. 20 newton meters is your first stage, 60 newton meters is your second stage, and 130 degrees is your third stage on your torques. Come on over. Right here, right now, what we like to do on our first stage, since it's so light, we use a 1/4-inch torque wrench to get our 20 newton meter torque. I'm gonna show you how you torque this. Let me show you. There's a series of your bolts. First torques, 1, 2, and you just follow. Let me help you see if you can follow it. There you go, you follow it in sequence. When number 1 is your first torque, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Make sure you follow your torque procedure. Now over here, I guess that he's on cylinder number at the 7 bolt. The 7th bolt right now. He's gonna torque that to 20. We're gonna come back for the next torque at 60 newton meters. All right, so here go our second stage of torquing. It's gonna be 60 newton meters. Like I told you, our first torque, we use a 1/4-inch torque wrench for our 20 newton meters. We use this torque wrench here by Precise Tools. They actually gave this to us for free. We greatly appreciate them. Go follow their page. Now we move up to a 3/8 torque wrench for our 60 newton meter torque. Like I say, he's following the torque sequence. Get a click, and now he's a click. So we're gonna do the rest of them. We're gonna come back for our angle torque at 130 degrees. All right, so our third step, we like to use our snap-on torque wrench here, which is an angle torque wrench. We have it set for 130 degrees. It's a 1/2-inch drive made by Snap-on. Go ahead, I'm gonna show you how this works. I'm gonna go 130 degrees. As soon as you start moving, I'm gonna see if I can follow this. That's the degree that we are moving. The good thing about this tool is when he stops right here, now he can go back. He had 97, and then as he comes forward, go ahead, it's gonna stop at the 130, and you get a vibration. All right, let's do another one. Another one for you. Okay, we're going. Let me see if I can follow this down and around. He's gonna keep going. He's at his 130. Let me show you how we had an older tool that this tool replaced. All right, this is what we had years ago. This here is our angle torque wrench. Well, not an angle torque wrench, angle torque gauge. You see right here, all your numbers. I'm trying to get this for you. There we go. All your numbers are on there. These will be your angles. So you start this at 0, and then as you turn your wrench, you'll see the numbers come down and around to about, not to about, to about 130 degrees. You put this little, let's call it a rod to hold it still and center it. So now what Alex gonna do, he's gonna grab it and see if we can show you. So as he's starting to move the wrench, watch our 130 come. And he's gonna go, and he's gonna go a little bit more, Alex, right there, 130. And that's how that's done. Real slow. Let's put our digital torque wrench back on and keep moving. All right, we are about to set the cam timing on this Volvo right here. So before you take this thing apart, let me show you guys something. Always mark your intake and exhaust. Always mark your intake and your exhaust cams. Just put exhaust and intake. Now on this particular car, if I'm not mistaken, these are the same, but you do not want to get them mixed up. Now how you take these things off is very simple. You have a center bolt here, which is 55 Torx. That comes right out. And you have a cap that's torqued very lightly. You can take these off. Now let's talk about the cam timing. You have intake and exhaust cams. Again, before you take this apart, let me show you something. This here is your, I'll show you this in a second. This here is your exhaust cam, all right? Every cam have a series of numbers. Your exhaust cam has 93. Let me turn this around, you can see it better. It has 93 and 34, but the numbers will be different. Make note of that before you start taking this apart. If you come over here to your intake cam, and turn this around for you, you have a 91, and what's that, a 74, 72?
74.
74. Just mark them. All right, so here we go. At the back of the cam, how you gonna know which one is intake and which one is exhaust? Take a look right here. This actually picks up your cam position sensor. So that says exhaust. You have like a 30 Torx right here. Unscrew that, and that comes off. All right. So we know that this one is the exhaust. Come over to the intake. Same thing. Cam position pickup. This here's your intake. I'm going one way. It says intake. Get your Torx. Get that out the way. All right. So how we know how to set our cam timing. This here is a cam timing tool. This is a special tool for Volvo. What I do is that when I first bought this tool, we always mark this to make sure these are in the right position. Going in the engine, this is how this sits in the car, just like so. So we want to make sure we're always in the right position, so we just mark this for our reference. Now look, follow me on this one. We mark it right here. See how perfectly that fits? So if you try to 180 this, it really won't go in. So you know this is the correct position, all right? And this sits up top, going towards the ceiling. Now this here is our exhaust cam, like I was telling you. Now watch this. You try to put your exhaust cam in, you got two splits right there. Let's put this in. So if you try to go in with it, you see how that goes in? But look at the difference, Tyler. Can you see that? The difference of the height between the top right here, that's not even, and look at the bottom. Can you see it in the bottom? It's not even. That means that you're 180 out. Watch this. Rotate this 180. And see how this perfect? You can have these cams 180 out, but you have to be perfectly, you cannot be 180 out. You have to make sure this is perfect. Can you see that? Let's go back around again. This is wrong. You can still screw it in, but it'll be wrong, not even. And here, oops, I'm sorry. There you're not, and you have your 180. And there you have it. So now you just go ahead, put your screw in, and you can snug this up. Now, I'm gonna do the same thing on this intake cam. Let's talk about this intake cam, same deal. Take our intake cam, can move this back now. Take our intake cam, let's see where this one is at. See right here? That's off 180. Can you see that, Tyler?
Yep.
And look at the bottom. Can you see at the bottom? That's off 180, that's not perfect. Watch this, rotate your cam 180. Oops. Rotate your cam 180. And you're gonna be dead on. You're gonna be dead on. And another quick lesson, real fast, let me show you something. Let me take this off. Another reason how you can know that you're dead on is by the part numbers that's on the back of the cam. This is very important, so don't Do not click out of this video. Follow this. When you know that you're dead on your cam timing, first of all, if you get the cams mixed up, there's part numbers. Can you see that, Tyler? You can always call the dealership and get your part numbers. It's gonna be a part number on the exhaust and a part number on the intake. Watch this. You see how that part number is up top? Right here, and this is lined up? Watch this. Your part number, can you see that, Tyler? On the intake is gonna be on the bottom. Can you see that? My bad, hold on. Where's your part number?
At the bottom.
It's at the bottom. Can you see that? Might be hard to see. Right there. Your part number is going to be at the bottom. So now we know our intake part number is at the bottom. And this is perfectly lined up. And we know our exhaust part number is at the top, perfectly lined up. And that's how you know you're in the right position with your cam timing. All right. Next procedure we're going to do, we're going to get these lowered into the car. And you may as well stick around for that because this will be a simple one. Now, how this actually works, you can actually use this, but you really don't have to. You just don't have to. So this actually holds the cams in. See, it's for the older one. That's not going to fit. Scratch that. So now what we're going to do, come on over. You got that assembly lube, Terry? You can do this one of two ways. You can put engine oil, but what we like to do is that we like to put engine assembly lube right here on these cam journals. That way when we fire this engine up, it has lubrication and we're good to go. All right, now we know that our cams in the right position, they sit like that. Now I want you to notice again too, check it out, don't miss this. Perfectly centered, perfectly centered. All right, next step we're gonna show you how to lower the cam cover and press it on. All right, so next let's talk about our crank timing. Right there is our timing mark on the bottom of the crank. Set that ball right here on the crank pulley itself. This boss lines up with that line right there. It's going to kind of sit in between time and teeth. Let me see if I can show you. Let me back up just a little bit. All right, that's better. See your timing mark right there? Crank timing on the pulley lines up with that line right there on the oil pump housing. That's how you know that your crank is at top dead center. Now let's get back up top and get this cover down. Okay, let's get this cam cover installed in this engine. We're gonna need a couple things. We're gonna need anaerobic sealer. Volvo part number here, 306-64-4517. This is what you wanna use. Sometimes in timing belt kits, you got the aftermarket one? Sometimes in timing belt kits, they give you this right here, which is actually a pretty good option. But this takes like 24 hours to set up and you just don't want that. Save this for another job. Go to the dealership and get the proper stuff. Now watch this. You get a roller, a foam paint roller, foam paintbrush, 4 inches long. We just put it on a piece of cardboard. And this here is your valve cover, your cam cover sealer. Simply take this, make sure our surface is clean, and we just paint this on all of the contact surface. So, I know this video might be running a little bit long, but this is what you need to do to make sure this is done right. If you're going through all this work, I just want to make sure that you guys have all this. Now with this, more is not good. Less is not good either. You just want a good amount on all surfaces. Let's just put a little bit more here. Is that your phone, Tyler?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna add a little bit more there. Well, some phone is ringing, but we're here. We'll add a little bit more because I think I need a little bit more on these outside edges right here. And this is all you need. A nice, even amount.
Got them right there.
I got you. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, son. I'm getting there. Thank you. Thank you. And this is what you need. This here, this thin coat is going to seal your cam cover. All right? So now we do at this point, we're going to flip this over, and grab by the sensors, and we're going to lay this down. You have a dial here, you have a dial here. We're just going to lay it down on our dial. And we're down. Now we have to get it to press down. Have a special tool here. This is our cam cover press tools. You can pick this up. Let me see if I can leave a link in the description. I like to go one right here. Let's start the middle one. And we're gonna get it tight.
Get an air gun and zip it down.
Do not get an air gun and zip it down like my son says. He's a knucklehead. If you ever bring your car here, I will not let him work on your car using that kind of language. So, get this started. This is hand tight. Do not put a gun on this because you're not gonna be able to get it out. Now at this point, I want you to notice the gaps in between your cylinder head and this cam cover. Let's tighten them down evenly. If you look right here, show this Tyler. We'll just run these down. And then this is a press tool. Watch this start going down. We're just gonna go down even. You got that, son? Now what we're doing, we're pressing the cam cover down. All right, here's what I'm telling you. We just added some brake pads up top as a washer. Whatever you have to do to get this to go flush, just do it. Now at this point, we're gonna be able to tighten this down.
Could have used the air hammer to push it down. So
Whatever. And that is it. See how we flush down now? Now what's gonna happen once we put our bolts through, this will pull it down the rest of the way. If you come over here to this one right here, there we go. 1 second, put that right here. And now we're flush. So let's start by torquing this down. All right, here's our intake and exhaust cams. They have timing marks on them right there, very small. See that little notch right there? That's your timing mark. And that there's your timing mark. We just like to get some yellow or white paint. That way we can see it when we install the timing belt. We're gonna get our intake on our intake cam here. Oh, I'm sorry. We have all of our cylinder head bolts torqued to spec. I believe it was 18 or 20 Newton meters. So it took all of your cam cover bolts to spec. We have our front cam seals installed. So we're gonna go intake, get this installed, do the same thing on our exhaust, and just get our timing marks coaster up top in the window, and I'm gonna show you that next. Here's what I'm telling you, we have our cam cover, upper cam cover installed, and we just have our timing marks marked as a reference. That white mark right there for this one, and you come back here to the second one. It might be kind of hard for you to see. It is. But anyway, we're marked at the second one at the back. So let's get this timing belt on, and we'll turn this thing around 2 times. Turn this thing over 2 times. I'm gonna show you guys something. We have our timing marks and everything set up. I want you to come down here to our window where our timing adjuster is. I'm sorry, our tensioner adjuster is. See that little adjuster in the middle of that window? You want it to the right of the window, so you get your 5mm Allen, you press down on that counterclockwise, and that's gonna move it to the tight position, and it's gonna put you right there in the middle of the window. It's perfect. I like to go a little bit to the right for a slight bit tighter, so as this belt warms up and loosens up in the middle of the window, you never wanna be to the left of the window. And that is pretty much it. 5 Allen, tighten it up with the 12. And the next step, you're gonna see this thing gonna be fired up and running. All right, we are at part 2 of the Volvo S60 that we are replacing the cylinder head. So far, we have a new water pump installed, tensioner, and idler. We're about to get this head bolted down. We're getting our head ready to get bolted on, got new studs in. New valves and everything is in. Flip this over so I can show you. We are ready to go. All right, we're going back together. We have a special tool to lock our cams, have our cylinder head cover on. Let's get our timing belt on. Okay, we are looking like an engine again. New plugs in, again, the ignition coils replaced. The startup is next. Here's the finished product. We are up, we are running good. She started right up, perfect. Any of your engine needs, come see us.